Alright guys, Wyatt here, and welcome back to week 7, lab 7 of our 12-part lab series. This week, it should be a little bit of a review in the sense that we're going to be going back through some things that we've seen before, and that should give us some confidence that we have learned some stuff so far. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to practice creating non-primitive objects, i.e. something other than int, string, double, things along that line. And how we're going to do that is by taking on the role of with quick responses to this is supposed to say customers. With quick responses to customers and an efficient supply chain, you run a table manufacturing business with the highest profit margin in the world. You provide two products, tables and nightstands, alright? When a customer places an order, you interact with them before managing the inventory. The tables and nightstands both use legs with different tops, and we're not going to do that. So, part A, order. What we're going to be doing is we're going to create an order class, which means we're probably going to need an order object. And here it's going to accept two parameters, the amount of tables the customer would like to buy and the amount of nightstands. Both of them are integers. We're going to create a static method called createOrder, and this will allow the user to input how many tables and how many nightstands they would like to purchase. With this information, create and return an order object. Next, create a purchase method. It'll accept two parameters, int for tables and ints for nightstands, and that represents the inventory of the total available nightstands and tables that the company has. So we have that many tables and that many nightstands we would possibly be able to sell. And if the order can be placed, the tables and nightstands in inventory are greater than the order request, tell the user the order has been placed and reduce the inventory accordingly. So what that means is we will need to return an array of two numbers, the inventory of the tables and nightstands, so that way we can kind of keep track of that. So in the main, what we're going to do, we're going to set the initial tables and nightstands to 50 apiece, then test to make sure everything works. Alright, we can do that. We're going to get started the same way we always do. Open. I got the file on my desktop because I'm ready. Lab 7, the only thing in it right now is this document, so we do Command-Shift-P, create Java project, no build tools. We're going to do it right here in Lab 7. We're going to call it order, and we're off and running. Alright, so here we go. And away we go. So we know the first thing we want to do, we got to change this guy to order like always, because for some reason it doesn't do that for us, but no worries. Alright, and here we go. So we're going to be creating a order object that has the instance variables of tables and nightstands, which are going to be ints, int table, comma, nightstands. Alright, so that's a shorthand way to create two variables in one line. We're learning. And then we can say, here's our constructor, and it is going to say it's going to be public order, and it's going to accept two parameters. We'll do int t for tables, int n for nightstands. And then what we're going to say is this dot tables equals t, and this dot nightstands equals n. Alright. So we've done that. And now we know that if we wanted to, we could create a new table like this, or we create a new order by saying order new order equals new order with how many tables. We'll say someone wanted to buy 10 tables and 10 nightstands for whatever reason. We don't ask questions, we just ship it. Alright, So the constructor is made. Now we need to do the static create order object, which allows us to create the order object. So create order function, and we're going to say public static. It's going to return an order object, so we say that right there. And the function name is create order. It doesn't take any parameters. And what we're going to say is we got to create a new scanner again. Scanner, I like to call mine scan equals new scanner. System.in is what we say to look to the user to type something, and we're ready now for the user to type something. So we'll prompt them by asking a question. System.out.println how many tables would you like to order? Okay. And then what we're going to say is int tables equals scan.nextInt. Alright. And that'll work. And then similarly, what we're going to say is we'll create a little bit of space, make it more legible. How many nightstands would you like to order? And then what we're going to do is we're going to create our new order object here. So order, we'll call this guy order. Order's good. Equals new order. So uppercase means referring to the object. Lowercase means that we are referring to the object name. Not the type. Alright, not the type. So here we go, order, and then we know it takes two parameters, and if we hover over it, it says the constructor order is undefined. That's not true. We did define it, but we'll just go ahead and pass it in because for some reason it's getting a little confused. Alright, and now we got our new order ready to go, and we have to say return this order. Alright. We did the first three steps and we're moving. This one we're going through fast. That is good. So here, you know, we got our new order. We know that it's working. Let's test it out. Let's say new order. So order new order equals, and we'll set it equal to our create order object. And we're not doing anything with it, but what we can do is we'll print out some stuff from it. So we'll say system.out.println. We'll just copy that, and we'll say so we can show the users tables requested, and then plus new order dot tables. Alright, so we're going to access the tables that they'd like to order, and then we're going to get nightstands requested. And here we're just double checking to make sure that everything's working. Let's go ahead and run this. So in the main, the first thing that's going to happen is our create order function is being called, set to this new order object, and as we know the create order, the first thing that it does is ask us how many tables would we like to order. Look at that, how many tables would we like to order? 17, 16 is good. How many nightstands? 9. Tables requested 16, order nightstands requested 9. Alright, our stuff is working the way that it should. Next, what we got to do is, step 2, create the purchase method. Alright, let's go ahead and get that bad boy started. And it accepts those two parameters. It's going to return an array of 2 numbers, so we got to keep that in mind. So we're going to say public. Here we're going to call this method on an order object, which means it's not static, it's not a class method, it is a method that's going to be set to our object. So public, and then what we want to say is what we're returning. So we're going to return an array of integers. And here we are going to say, what is the name of it? Purchase. And it's going to accept two parameters, and tables and nightstands. And here, what we're going to say is, if we have enough, so we know that we're going to call purchase like so. So we're going to say something along the lines of, you know, how are we going to say this? Int inventory equals, and then that's going to equal new order dot purchase. Alright, so that's what it's going to look like when we call it, and that's good to know. So we're going to be calling the purchase object on this order object, which means we can say something along the lines of, if this dot table, so referring to the tables of the object, if these tables are greater than the ones in the inventory, which are these, and this dot nightstands are greater than these nightstands. So let's go ahead and change, we're going to kind of make this easier to understand. So we're going to call this inventory tables. Alright, inventory tables. And we're going to call this one inventory nightstands. Alright, just so that way it makes a little bit more sense when we read it. Alright, so we want to make sure that the order, oh wait, see, that's why I read it. So we want to make sure that our the tables that we order are less than the tables we have in inventory. We need to have more in inventory than we're giving out. Otherwise, that's not going to work. Alright, so if we have more tables in our inventory and we have more nightstands in our inventory than what's being ordered, then we'll do something along the lines of system.out.println. You know, we address the customer first. Your order is good to go. Alright, they have been addressed. And now what we need to do is we need to update our inventory. We're assuming we're making this sale. So we need to say inventory tables equals the amount of inventory in the tables that we had minus the order, right? So that's good. And then similarly, inventory nightstands is going to be however many we previously had minus the order. Alright, so there's that. And then what we're going to do is we want to return the tables and nightstands so that way we can kind of keep track of it outside of here. So what we're going to say is an integer array called, we'll call it updated inventory equals, let's see, can we just say it like this? Inventory tables in that position and inventory nightstands in this one? Nope, we cannot. But we can say new int and do it like that. Nope, we can't. So let's see here. I know that there's a shorthand method to doing this. Okay, so now we create an array of tables, the inventory tables and inventory nightstands. and that is what is being set to updated inventory, and that is what we shall return on this line. So we're going to say return updated inventory, and now that error went away and we are back to good to go. So, well, let's say here original table inventory. We said it should be 50 to start, and we said that the nightstand should start off at 50 as well. And so we're going to pass those numbers in right here. So original table inventory. And we're going to do that right here for the nightstand. Original nightstand inventory. Nice, that's good. Now what we want to do is our inventory is going to be set again. So now let's say here after, so this first order goes through, you know, something happens. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create a new order after it, and then what we're going to do is we'll say new, okay, we're going to kind of do this same line again. Inventory equals new orders, because this order will be updated at this point. Purchase, and then we're not going to pass in those variables. We need to get our inventory variables. So we know that the inventory in the first position of the array is going to be the amount of tables, so we're going to pass that in right here, because purchase takes tables and nightstands. And then similarly, the second position of the array is going to be the amount of inventory that we have for the nightstands, which is set right here. And we'll do this one more time. And let's say here, if we got the statement written, so when it works, it's going to print, you know, your order is good to go. Else, so in this given the scenario that we do not have enough tables or we do not have enough nightstands, this line will be reached, and we'll say system.out.println, and we're going to say, sorry, we're low on inventory. We sold a lot. Please come back again. Please come back. Alright. Okay. So we're creating 3 orders, and we're calling purchase 3 times. We're trying to make 3 purchases here. We're updating our inventory each time we call the purchase object, and we're going to see what happens here. We're missing a semicolon somewhere. Let's see here, line 34 it looks like. Boom. Scan is never closed. Don't worry about closing it. It don't really bother it. Alright, so let's see here. Oh shoot, I did not mean to. How many tables would you like to order? We know we got 50 total, so let's not exceed our order right away. Tables requested 10. Your order is good to go. So, you know, now we should have 40 tables left. So we're going to order 30 of them here, and we're going to order 30 nightstands. So we know we should still be good to go. How many tables? So now let's say we have 10 tables left and 10 nightstands. Let's say we try to order 12, and we try to order 12. Sorry, we're low on inventory. We sold a lot. Please come back. Alright, well, we got it to work the way that the world's greatest highest profit margin table manufacturing business would have it set up. So that's good. That was good practice going through creating non-primitive objects. Here we created the order object. We created using it with a constructor. Then we created an create order function, which we used to actually create an order object. We created a purchase function which returned an integer of array. And we made it happen, man. Good job if you followed along. Good job if you just watched. Good job if you're here for a good time. Alright. Like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next week.